Well, interesting. I hope this gives us a little boost in home sales because we're projected to be a little bit lower this year.
Need it.
Yep, we need it. So, hey, you foreign buyers, we'll take you.
That's right.
Yes,
I'm over here.
Hey, we take everybody. So.
Welcome to the iBuyer experiment. Oh, we got some juicy stuff to talk about today. So List with Clever came out with the top 6 iBuying companies. We're going to digest that. And then also, I find this shocking breaking news. Canada is banning foreign buyers from purchasing residential real estate. Let's start there, guys. I think that's big news. So Canada's come out. Apparently, they passed this bill over the summer. It took effect January 1. And now foreign investors who want to purchase homes in Canada are going to have to wait for 2 years because you're not going to be able to buy one.
Come to Arizona. We got plenty of Maricopa.
Yeah, without getting political, I don't know if I would buy a house in Canada right now based on leadership, but that's another rabbit hole.
Hey, 10% of the houses coming here.
Yeah, exactly. 10% of the houses in America are non-owner occ, right? Investment properties.
But how many foreigners own
I do have some data
American
on that.
real estate?
I do have some data on that, but let's digest this Canadian legislation that took effect. So apparently the Prime Minister of Canada said that the desirability of Canadian homes is attracting profiteers, wealthy corporations, and foreign investors. This is leading to a real problem of underused and vacant housing, rampant speculation, and skyrocketing prices. Homes are for people, not investors.
Oh,
well,
but investors
that's interesting.
Rent to people.
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say, well, if
interesting.
the people aren't buying it, then that doesn't solve anything.
You know, I have a really good real estate friend in Canada, Catherine Ludicano.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing broker. And I remember meeting with her a few years ago in New York, and she was telling us that, remember when we met her and her husband at dinner, we went to the keg, it was a great time. And she was telling us that there are literally just hundreds and hundreds of vacant homes that are owned by foreigners that just sit vacant all the time.
They hide their money there, right?
No, like legit.
Yeah, like legit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good investment, right? You gotta hide a couple $1,000,000, go buy a couple houses in Canada and leave them vacant.
Yep. And so are you saying that is she saying they're not trying to be rented out?
No, they're definitely not.
Gotcha.
No.
So it was setting.
She mentioned Chinese, right? A lot of Chinese
She did.
money.
She certainly did. So that's interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm thinking maybe the Chinese lockdowns that they're releasing them now. Maybe a lot of these Chinese investors are going to be buying more homes and moving here.
They're trying to get ahead of it.
Or trying to get out of there so they don't get locked down.
Could be. So
That is intriguing, though.
They're going to get locked down in Canada, so.
Well, there's no doubt that foreign investment in U.S. real estate is still big. Last year, it decreased a little bit. It looks like $59 billion was purchased by foreign buyers during April 2021 through March 22. And this is according to the international transactions in U.S. residential real estate provided by the National Association of Realtors. But the actual percentage of overall home sales sold to foreign buyers is actually relatively small. Last year, it was 1.6%.
Wow.
So it's not a ton, but $59 billion. So I'm thinking this could be good for U.S. real estate. Maybe more foreigners will come and buy in the U.S.
Instead of Canada, because they can't.
Exactly, because they can't for 2 years. There's this ban now.
Well, and I know we were talking about that last podcast too, but I mean, if rents stay balanced or even climb at all, that could be another cool factor for that.
What's funny is the top foreign buyers, the top one is Canada.
In the U.S.
Canadians.
In the U.S.
Canadians buy the most in the U.S. as the top foreign buyers.
That makes sense.
Yeah, our top foreign buyers, what are them? What are they all?
Well, Canada is number 1, Mexico is number 2, and China is number 3.
Wow, I would think that would be opposite. I would think China would be ahead of Mexico.
I really figured India would be.
India is number 4.
I thought they might have been right alongside with Canada.
Yep.
Just from my personal experience here in the Arizona market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many engineers here, so yeah.
I'm surprised to see Colombia made the top,
Colombia.
right?
Colombia.
Who the heck is from Colombia?
Well, they buy
I'm surprised like
primarily in
Ukraine
Florida.
wouldn't be in there too. I mean, they've got to be up there too. But and I guess that's a tough part. It gets so segmented, right? If we could probably lump all of Europe together, then they would rank way up there.
Individually, though, they don't stand as strong. Okay.
Yeah.
What's weird about Canada and investors coming down from Canada, I learned something new like a year or two ago when we were working, well, maybe it was a little longer than that, when we were working with a gentleman from Canada. He was saying because, he doesn't have citizenship here, they only allow him to stay 4 months out of the year, and your ass will get in trouble if you're caught staying longer than that. I'm like,
Really?
damn, I didn't know that the rules were that hardcore for them.
I didn't
to
know
go back.
that either.
How were they getting in
So,
trouble? They
Just probably, I don't know.
They
I
fine
don't know.
him or something?
I don't know how it's found out, but he was definitely said that like it's a big thing, like you can get fined and in trouble. And I was like, okay.
I wonder if it's here or there. That'd actually be
No, it's a U.S. thing.
a U.S. thing, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting though. But hey,
I mean, I know who you're talking about though.
But I get just meant from an investor, right? Like they can't come and enjoy their investment 365 is the point of me bringing that up.
they have to kind of
Yep.
piecemeal it. Well, interesting. I hope this gives us a little boost in home sales because we're projected to be a little bit lower this year.
Need it.
Yep, we need it. So, hey, you foreign buyers, we'll take you.
That's right.
Yes, we'll
I'm over
take
here.
you.
Hey, we take everybody. So,
Wow.
But yeah,
Statute of Liberty statement.
Yes.
I'm thankful for that. That's how
Yep.
my family got in.
that's I didn't mean that in any derogatory way.
I know. Come one, come all.
Yeah. So, okay, Elliot, you dug up the recent research that shows the 6 best iBuying
Is it?
companies.
Well, it's not so recent.
Yeah,
So recent.
She's giving a little pun there, but there's some context around why I wanted to communicate this, right? So this is something that was done, I think, in the beginning,
August.
end of last year. Yeah, August of 2022. So it's got a little bit of moss on it, right at this point.
Color
But-
offer is still on there.
But we found it. Yeah, we found it really interesting because it's actually one. If you Google iBuyers,
Right,
this article's
it's-
going to come up and it's
Yep.
going to tell you here are the 6 best iBuyer companies. And then as you read them, just knowing what we
Yep.
know, let's kind of digest what.
So that is the context of is that obviously we're all still Googling, and the times that we're in right now, kind of setting the table for everybody out there listening. Obviously, a lot of the cash buyers that are out there, they've kind of laid off the throttle. They're watching what's going on, and we all know that the consumer behavior around it is as high as ever because they're looking for more of the convenience and the certainty that a cash buyer brings. And so when you search this in Google, this shows up immediately.
Okay, so according to Clever, who are the 6 best iBuying companies? And let's digest them.
Let's see. Well, of course, you have what I found was funny is they ranked OfferPad virtually as number 1. Then Open Door is number 2. I think it was Redfin. Then Flash House, which is no longer even Flash House. Keller Offers and RealSure.
RealSure.
RealSure is not even.
Who is RealSure? Is that
That's Coldwell Banker's
Coldwell
product.
Banker?
Is
yeah,
it?
they like dipped a toe in there and pulled it back real fast, if memory serves me.
Too cold for him, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it says in there too that they were flat out, giving you pretty much a bait and switch cash offer.
Okay, so let's digest this. The article does know it was probably updated that Redfin now is no longer available. So
Yep.
Redfin now is out of the game, but
And Keller Zillow Offers it mentioned in there too that is out of the game.
okay. So let's peel this back because Redfin now, even though it's not available, sellers can get an open door offer on
Yep.
Redfin.
Yep.
And that's pretty much across any market that Open Door is in. So, yeah, from what we see and what we know is that Redfin now was in limited markets. So
Right.
Redfin essentially expanded their service area.
That was a lead gen play genius move
Yeah.
for them, I think.
But we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Time.
Good call. Jay. He's like, in theory, now let's see if the product market fit is correct.
And then I think what we also found kind of funny was that another company, they said, here's one of the 6 best, was Flash House, which A, is no longer in existence, and B, when it was in existence, was only like in one market, right?
Yeah, they're pretty small. I
Yeah,
mean, I think those guys are great guys, smart guys that are up there that is now fellow. But yeah, they definitely to call them like
They're just in Ohio,
top
right?
6 iBuyer. I mean, that's a bold statement. Yeah, they're like, and they're not only that, they're like only in territories of Ohio.
Somebody must know the writer.
Yeah.
So we thought that was pretty funny. I think the takeaway here is that if you're looking for a cash offer on your home, you want to go with your local real estate agent and have them source these cash offers for you. What we know is a lot of real estate professionals, especially top real estate professionals, are using a system such as Zoodealio to source multiple cash offers for their home sellers. And so I think rather than going on Google and ending up on some site that may or may not even be up and running still, go with your local real estate agent and get offers sourced from them. They're going to know who the best offers are.
Yeah, and I have one other quick exclamation point on that. Most of our listeners are lenders or real estate professionals in some way, shape, or form. So this is actually for you, right? What we wanted to share with you is honestly, some of the false information that's out there on Google that people are searching. This is an opportunity for you to communicate, create content around these types of things, and then you be that digital informant to your marketplace so that people are coming back to you and you're the provider of these offers and options, and you get known as the foremost known authority because you're consistent in creating content around these types of things that consumers are looking for.
Yep, your megaphone to the marketplace.
That's right.
Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. We release a new podcast every Tuesday.
Hey, one other thing real quick is curious. I heard on my Amazon bulletins, right? I know, I don't know about you guys, but I walk into my kitchen and I got one of those ones where it does my face recognition and I'll play my bulletins that I set up per my face. And so one of the things that it was on there this morning that I'm curious to get our take on is rates are projected to go above 7.5%, and here that was again, Amazon bulletin, right? That I don't remember what it might have been a Bloomberg because it usually sources that. I don't remember, but that was what the projection was. And then the second thing that I wanted to bring to the surface here for us is that HomeLight looks to go public in Q1, which I actually did a quick little lookup on that, and it surprises me because their valuation in June of last year was roughly $500 million. So if they're going to try to IPO, obviously we all know SPACs are
those investors are going to be sad.
Yeah, I'm really curious. It almost makes you think are they in a stock? Are they in a cash crunch?
Oh yeah,
right?
I'm sure they are.
They must go public at this point, probably, right?
That's what I'm
There's
really
no
wondering.
turning back.
I was going to say, why would you not try to hold out and get your valuation up? I mean, that's your payday.
Have they laid off workers?
Does Google say about that?
Kind of similar to Zoodealio.
Well, they have the simple sale,
yeah.
Right? That's one of the closest products out there to the Cash Plus.
Oh, I think you'll remember this as soon as I say it right. Back in July when they were going for that extra round, actually they were valued at $1.7 billion, but
so they
cut a fifth of their staff in July.
Huh.
So yes, they did 20% layoffs.
Wow.
That's substantial. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the problem with the SPACs, and so your Open Doors, your OfferPad, is the general accounting principles and how they used non-GAAP accounting principles. So if HomeLight has been using accounting principles that are widely accepted, then maybe they won't have a problem.
Yeah, because remember, they're more of a mortgage company, right? They profit through creating matching leads to the local agents. So they have split models that they make that's a profit center. And then even for their simple sale, Jay, they match to investors as well, right? Which is, they pull in outside capital to work with the simple sale on that. So, but how they monetize is through the mortgage side, right? Where they're supplying mortgages. That's ultimately how they do it. So that's their main thing, and of course they have the lead revenue that they have inside of that. So
probably not the best time to go public.
I know.
When they're monetizing on mortgages right now.
I think that gone are the days when you can monetize.
Yeah, their just valuation is going to be small.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
not going to be.
We're done with that.
It's not going to be some $25 billion valuation. And
where did you hear that at? Was it an article?
It was at Amazon again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to echo on, every source says something different. So in regards to the interest rates, I've only come across one thing that said that the rates would go that high. the top Google search on Forbes says that the prediction is that they will end anywhere between 5.5 to 6% at the end of 23.
That'd be great.
Which is a Zillow senior economist.
Yeah, I mean, here's the
How much
funny
do they
thing.
get paid to say that? I was kidding.
A lot.
Here's the funny thing, right? And I think a lot of times people do the year in rewind, the upcoming year predictions. It's the funny thing is they're just that. They're predictions. That's the, as you really look at all of these things, it's, to me, I always find it funny, which is why we were talking about the content and being able to speak to things that inside of your place, and you taking an opportunity to use these things as content and create new opportunities for yourself.
Well, what I think is funny is I remember last year looking at the predictions for mortgage rates from like NAR and from Mortgage Bankers Association and from like 7 different sources, and all of them said that we were going to end in like the high 3s.
Yeah. Because there was like no talk about them going up.
No,
Funny.
it came in like a wrecking ball.
I would love for them to end in the 5 or 6s.
Oh,
That'll keep things moving at least.
Mm-hmm. That would be great.
Yeah, I saw something again too, like as far as like the cost analysis of where it's at right now, that if we could get back to basically less than like 6.25, it should start to move again because it becomes like more affordable based on the averages and those types of things. So I don't know. That would be really cool. And I mean, I know we're not terribly above that right now, but again, if we start getting underneath 6.25, things hopefully start to move on the affordability factor.
Here, we'll end with this. This one's just kind of funny. Conversation. Are 8% mortgage rates possible by 2025?
Maybe they're possible,
Of
but
course they are.
we
I know,
amortize
but
for 40 years.
It's just funny because it's like,
change the
that's,
schedule.
That's some of the top, before you hit your main searches, little topics
Yes.
to answer your questions. That was like in the top 5. So it's just kind of funny.
It is funny. I think, I don't know, if someone's on the fence about buying a home and it's because of affordability, there's really not much you can say about that, right? Like,
It's a tough one.
could you get an ARM? Could you get the seller to pay to buy down your interest rate? Yes. Could you potentially get down payment assistance? Yes. So there are options
Could
out
you get
there
a 40-year mortgage?
Exactly.
Yep.
Or a
Could we?
50-year mortgage? What
Right.
about that?
Right.
They have those?
Yeah, they have 40 or
Yeah,
they're
40,
they-
I don't know.
I'm like, are you being silly? Are you for real? Why haven't I heard of
Hey,
this?
people are starting to live longer.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, once upon a time, you could get a Tesla for a 10-year loan, but they went away.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
That's how they made that 100,000. That's how they sold so many $100,000 cars the first couple of years is 10-year loans.
Yep.
Hey, how's inventory going on real estate right now? I was looking at the
It's
the
low.
ARMLS today,
Inventory
and we're
is
at
down.
16,200, and at the beginning
Dang.
of December we were at 18,000. So we've
It actually went down.
dropped about 1,800 homes in the past month.
Right. Because if you own your home and your interest rate is 3%,
3%.
are you leaving?
No.
Yep.
Are you bouncing out of it real
You think
quick?
Unless you have to.
You think wraps and all that stuff's going to come back? I mean, it certainly should.
You know, something interesting Jason and I were talking about on the wrap, because you were listening to an investor who, because
Yeah.
the problem with wraps is they trigger the due on sale clause. And
Well, it's the risk.
right.
Yeah.
And that's the risk. But what they were, and it is a risk. And if the lender sees that mortgage, a new deed filed, they're
Right.
going to trigger the due on sale clause. And so one of like kind of the loopholes, and don't try this because I don't know if this is true. We just heard it. And if you have context on this, let us know because we'd be interested in hearing from you.
Yeah.
But what he was saying is that he was apparently in that realm, and that's all he did for like years and years. It was worked for a servicer and worked for properties that changed, the deed changed. And so what he said is if the deed changed to a trust name,
Then they can't.
they ignored it because people do
Oh,
that
they
all
do
the
that all
time.
the
Like,
time.
like Jason and I, when we bought our first house, we didn't have a trust. And I remember like about a year and a half later, like my dad's a lawyer. My parents were like, you guys need to get a living will and you need to get your trust. And so we did, and we set up our trust and we transferred our mortgage into our trust. And so a lot of people do that. It's just colloquial. We all do
Yep.
it. And so when you transfer the deed to your trust, apparently servicers ignore that transfer. And so maybe one of the ways around these wraps.
It's to put it in a
Is to
trust.
put in a trust.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't trigger
And then,
that.
and then you sell the trust.
Well, and even if it triggers it, it doesn't mean that he was saying that they don't always do the due on sale clause. They don't,
No.
they just, as long as it's on time and
Yep.
the payments are being made, they kind of ignore it. But yeah, he said if you're scared of that, then put all of your properties that you're wrapping into
Into a trust.
and they ignore those. So
That is actually
that was interesting.
fantastic information.
Plausible.
Yep.
Who knows if it's true? Like I said,
It seems true,
don't
though.
take that advice. This is not advice. It's just us
It
talking.
makes sense because
It's advice.
This is us
Do it.
chopping. We're chopping it up. Chopping it up.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think wraps definitely could be a thing.
Oh, I totally think so.
The VA are assumable. If you have a VA
Yep.
loan, you
Assumable.
can assume those 3% loans.
If you were lucky enough to be able to get someone to accept your EA offer over the past 2-3 years,
So valid.
there were
That's a valid point.
few of them. But yeah, interesting things for sure. It's just going to be an incredible year. And hey, if you're listening and you're wondering, what is this Zoodealio all about? Please check us out. We would love to invite you to one of our live demos. We'd love to show you what the software can do for you and your business. And again, if you're a listener and you leave us a review, we'd love to send you a free t-shirt. So we appreciate you.